Hey guys, so like we said in the meeting, here's one of our databases that we've used, data sets, whatever you want to call it, on Excel. I'm just gonna explain, a few elements here, and like, how you can use it, how you can manipulate it, and I think also on the website I'm gonna put like example videos, example articles for like what we're kind of looking for um in terms of how to use the data and how to analyze this to gain an edge. So for this one I'm going to use Iowa State. It's my favorite team, so we're going to do that. So they played Kansas State in week 0. And like I guess just to explain first, let's go to 50%. So we've each game. So it's week 0, week 1, and then week 2, and then week 3 is this week, and I'll update that once those games are finalized. And you have a ton of data on here. Obviously, total plays, points, yards per play, yards per play. Sorry about that. You have like Rocco Becht, who's the quarterback. You have rushing. Or sorry, this is pass blocking. You have behind line of scrimmage, short pass, medium pass, long pass, blitz, non-blitz. You can, see all this. You can kind of explore this for yourself. We have rushing, run blocking, gap versus zone if you want to kind of use that. Man zone. So yeah, so this is like, broken down by week, and then we have it like kind of season long. So we, Rocco Beck stats versus non-blitz and how he ranks. Like he's ranked, 64th in the country. Actually, that's a typo. I gotta fix that. But basically, we're just giving an idea of how these players are stacking up compared to the rest of the country. Versus man versus zone. You can kind of explore this and ask us questions, but for the most part, we think it's pretty intuitive. But I just want to explain one thing here. So like this tab, like from A to I, basically is where you can kind of use the data. You can like manipulate the data to like see certain matchups. And obviously there's only 3 weeks to go off of, mostly two, because not many people played, or not many teams played week 0. But as far as like Iowa State, like this could be a possible analysis where it's versus Kansas State. Actually, this is week 1 and 0. So we can do, and like this is actually good to see. We can do weeks 1 to 2, and you see how that changes. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. So like if you change this one, say if I only want week 1, then it changes for all of them. But we're gonna do weeks 1 to 2, and then for this one, we're gonna do week 3 versus Iowa. Okay. And then how this works in terms of changing it, I like renamed the cells so you can like easily change it. So it's like week 0 to week 1, week 0 points to week 1, week 0 total yards, week 1 total yards. It's pretty intuitive as long as you just type it in. And then for this one, it's just week 2 total points, week 2 total yards, stuff like that. And then you can, have analysis based on that. And like, an example would be like, yeah, Iowa State was scored 39.5 points per game in their first 2 games versus Kansas State and South Dakota. 432 yards per game, 9.23 yards per attempt. But, when they faced Iowa, which is probably a better defense, they really struggled. So, the identity of Iowa State, how we think about Iowa State is a little skewed here because, we don't know how they play against, better defenses. And then we probably look at, oh, Kansas State, how did they rank in the country? Like, what kind of analysis can we make from Iowa or from Iowa State? And obviously, like, it's a small sample size, so like you're not going to make too good of a analysis early on. But I think you can see the point there. Also for here, like if it's NA, the team did not play, like it was a bye week, like a ton of teams didn't play week 0. Like I can give you an example. Like Alabama didn't play week 0, so it's gonna say NA, but they did play Florida State in week 1, so like that's why it's NA. Also, if they played an FCS team, I haven't quite figured out how to display that data for defense. For offense, it still works. Like if I do, let's just go back to Iowa State because they played an FCS team. Like they played South Dakota. You can still get their stats for offense. I guess that's a good transition to defense here. So, similar thing here. Should be pretty intuitive with the, cell names. You just kind of write it in and then you can, change this one and be like, oh, weeks 1 to 3 or something. I think you get the point, but excuse me. Wow. The layout is very similar in terms of just game by game. And you have specific stats here like man percentage, zone percentage, blitz percentage, pressure percentage, sack percentage. Less stats for defense, but I think it's still valuable. Like, yeah, and yeah, like I said, like for South Dakota, the way I did it, I couldn't figure out how to get the SES team's stats from the website I got. But I guess that's a good transition to like this is just a starting point. Like I worked on this, all summer. Put like a decent amount of hours into this, and I think it's like pretty decent. I think you can definitely make some, decent analysis out of it, but it's far from finished. It's far from complete. There is probably going to be a decent amount of problems with it. Also, like if you see a problem with it, like text me like anytime, day or night, I'll respond and I'll fix it. And also like if you're interested in college football and pursuing this kind of analysis and you kind of believe in what we're doing, join a data team. You can work on this data set. You can make your own data set. We're trying to build models. Hopefully I said all this in the meeting. But the point is that like this is your guys' club. I'm definitely not standing up here or sitting behind this camera like telling you what to do. Like I probably only know like a little bit more than you guys in terms of like how to like how to build data sets, how to build models. So I'm all ears. If you have an idea, text me. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna do the NFL one. It should be very simple or very similar to this one. But yeah, hopefully I didn't forget anything. And if you have any questions, like I said, text me, email me, whatever. And yeah, I will see you guys. See you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe, and have a good day.